Hello everybody, Dragonfire here, and I'm coming at you with another one of my videos. This time we're talking about the band Foreigner. That's the band Foreigner, and I'm going through my Foreigner discography. Okay, so let's get into it. My Foreigner discography here. Okay, first I want to show that I have, or yeah, I got this original, the very first Foreigner album. This is their self-titled debut, so Foreigner, Foreigner 1, whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, it's the first Foreigner album, and you see the album art there. And here is the track listing on the back. And got this one on CD. It's got Feels Like the First Time, Cold as Ice were two big hits off this first album. But this thing is a really good listen. Long, Long Way from Home was also um, a hit, I think less so than Feels Like the First Time and Cold as Ice. I do think it's cool that Feels Like the First Time is their very first song on their very first album. That's kind of interesting there. Um, I like Woman O Woman. Um, Yeah, Woman O Woman is my favorite deep cut for this one, for this album, besides the three hits off of it. So yeah, um, check out Foreigner's self-titled album, their very first album. And then I want to show this. A while back, I got some, uh, I, I got some 8-track tapes. Yeah, that's right. I'm kicking it retro here with some 8-track tapes. And I got a good deal on these 8-track tapes and love to have them for nostalgia purposes. And among them, uh, there was a copy of Foreigner's Double Vision, which is their second album. And there were actually two copies, and the person told me that I could just take the second one for free if I got the first one. So I got some 8-track tapes, I got some Led Zeppelin, I got Paul McCartney and Wings. I got several of these 8 tracks, which is really fun to get. But yeah, there were two copies of Foreigner's Double Vision, if I can speak words today. Um, and um, yeah, you can see there the black case, um, 8-track cassette here, the black cassette and white cassette. Um, you can see the 8-track formation there, 4 tracks on each side. And so, um, yeah, it still has all the songs, but some of them had to be like double. Um, it's put into the 8-track format, so some of them were doubled up. Um, but yeah, so it looks like Hot Blooded and Lonely Children are track one on side one, and then track one on side two is Tamarantin. I don't know how you pronounce that, but anyway, um, but yeah, interesting to have it on the 8-track format. And I also have this Foreigner 4 on CD. This is their fourth album. I'll get to their third album in a minute, but I'm doing it in this order for a reason. So this is their fourth album. 4 came out in 1981, and this is a special edition CD disc. And this thing was huge. It's got Nightlife and Jukebox Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Urgent. Um, really good stuff here. I think Woman in Black might be my favorite deep cut on this one. You can see the track listing there, and you can see this is a special edition with 2 bonus tracks there at the end. So it's got a special, it says in quotation marks, nearly unplugged. I don't know what that means, nearly unplugged, but it's got Jukebox Hero and Waiting for a Girl Like You, the nearly unplugged versions. Okay? So, like, I guess that means mostly acoustic guitar in those versions. Um, and then I want to show this one. The This is Foreigner Records. This is a greatest hits album that is made up of entirely songs from the first 4 Foreigner albums. So this one has Cold as Ice, Double Vision, Head Games, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Feels Like the First Time, Urgent, Dirty White Boy, Jukebox Hero, Long Long Way from Home, and Hot Blooded. So those are 10 songs from their first 4 albums. So roughly 2 or 3 songs from each of the first 4 albums. Um, and uh, this is this is just a fantastic greatest hits collection. 10 songs of all killer, no filler. And um, here's the backside. You can barely see it. I know it's got a lot of stuff there, but um, the front side is much easier to read. But yeah, Foreigner Records is a fantastic greatest hits album. The Foreigner has so many different versions of their greatest hits. Um, they have they have like a 10 songs greatest hits, a 12-song greatest hits, a 15-song greatest hits, a 2 disc version of their greatest hits, um, all these different things, live version, whatever. But um, they have many different versions, but this is a pretty good greatest hits. Like if you just want 10 songs that totally rock there. Now, I've been forgetting to give the years on this, but I believe the first album was 77, second album 78, and the third album 79. Then I believe they skipped a year, and I believe their fourth album came out in 1981. So I had their first 2 albums on CD already, uh, but I wanted to complete my early Foreigner collection, and I decided to pick up this box set. So this is Foreigner, the original album series. It's a box set, the first 5 Foreigner albums, and let you see the backside here. It's got the album covers. It's got the track listing for each individual album, and so we'll open it up here and take out the CDs that are inside. These are very slim CD covers, but they're designed to look exactly the way that the original album would have looked if you would have purchased it on vinyl back in the day. They're basically doing a CD edition that is basically a miniature vinyl. So this is Foreigner. Um, Here you can see the original album art, very similar to uh, the album art on the CD, are basically identical, the same, and recreates the back of the album as well. One thing that's different about this than the CD version is you'll see that it's divided into sides A and B. Yeah, I believe it's. Oh no, sorry, it's side one and two. Some albums had A and B. Some albums had one and two. So yeah, one and two, and you can see that they changed it slightly for the CD edition. This being the CD edition, this one being a recreation of the vinyl, even though it too is also CD. And you can see the CDs inside there. Um, so yeah, you can see what it would look like on the original vinyl. Don't have any Foreigner vinyls. I know I broke out the 8-track tapes today, but I don't have any Foreigner on vinyl record or on cassette tapes. Just on CD and 8-track tapes today. Anyway, their second album now. Let's go to their second album, 1978, with Double Vision. So here's the Double Vision, and again, here's the back cover for Double Vision. Um, and you can see the track listing there. And what is this? This one doesn't break it down between side A and side B, so I don't know. Maybe with this one they didn't go with the original album version. They went with the CD, the back cover for the CD version. I'm not sure because usually if it's the album version, it'll break it down between side A and side B, and this one doesn't do that like the first one did. So I don't know about that. But anyway, there's Double Vision, their second album. Here is Head Games, the third album from the band Foreigner. And there's the back side, and you can see there's two different track listings there for both sides. You can see the songs from one side on one side and the other on the other. So yeah, there's the track listing as is on the CD for the vinyl. And you can see their Head Games. That was their third album. And then here is the album 4 by Foreigner. And this one again, okay, this one again has side 1 and side 2. So this does look like it would have been what was originally on the album itself, the vinyl version. So, and then, so that was their first 4 albums of Foreigner, Double Vision, Head Games, and 4, which again, that was their greatest hits release, was the greatest hits from the first 4 albums. But here I have Agent Provocateur, their 5th album, Agent Provocateur. You can see the track listing there on the back. And the big hit off of this one was I Want to Know What Love Is. I'm going to say She's Too Tough is a good, or maybe Growing Up the Hard Way are some good deep cuts on this album. But there's their 5th album, Agent Provocateur. They just went with the big F for their logo on this one. So that is the Foreigner box set here. Again, I guess I didn't do some of the big hits off of some of these albums here. So Double Vision from 78 has got Hot Blooded on it. Maybe my favorite Foreigner song. Uh, Blue Morning, Blue Day is uh, is a good one, maybe underrated. Um, Back Where You Belong is pretty good. Uh, yeah, Double Vision is a great album. The title track Double Vision is just a great song. Um, I've Waited So Long. Yeah, it's a pretty good album, Double Vision. And then Head Games has got Dirty White Boy. Women is an underrated track on that one. Maybe um, my special track for this album. Head Games, um, Blinded by Science. Yeah, Rev on the Red Line. Very good stuff. Yeah, Head Games, the title track is pretty good. And then I've already talked about Four and Agent Provocateur. So yeah, first five Foreigner albums in that collection there. Put these back in the case here. Uh, okay. Now, what about after the first five albums? Well, how about Foreigner's Inside Information? Let's get hold on, let me get the dates on this here. Okay, so, yes, Foreigner, the self-titled debut, comes out in 77, then Double Vision in 78, Head Games in 79, 4 in 81, so I got the dates right on those. Okay, Agent Provocateur, their fifth album, came out in 1984, so that's uh, one there. And then this album, Inside Information, comes out in 1987. So, three albums in the 70s and three albums in the 80s. Inside Information. Now, this was uh, where Foreigner began not to get radio play and ended up not having huge hits. Um, I Don't Want to Live Without You, I think, got some radio play. It's a pretty good song. I like Out of the Blue and A Night to Remember. So this is not a bad album. Um, yeah, but Foreigner's Inside Information comes out in 1987. Okay. Then in the 90s, uh, starting in 1991, Unusual Heat. And uh, yeah, the title track is track number 11 on this album. So Unusual Heat, got Flesh Wounds, No Hiding Place, um, Ready for the Rain. So this is not a bad album, but again, didn't have the big hits like some of their 70s and 80s albums did. So there's Foreigner, Inside Information, and Unusual Heat were the last two I showed. Now, um, next up in my discography, I have this Foreigner Live, and this is basically like a greatest hits collection, but this is their classic hits live. So has opens up with Double Vision, followed by Cold as Ice, Damage is Done, Women, uh, Dirty White Boy, Fool, For You Anyway, Head Games, Not Not Fade Away, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Jukebox Hero, Urgent, Love Maker, I Want to Know What Love Is, and Feels Like the First Time. So they do throw in, I think, some tracks that are a little bit more obscure, even though it's called Classic Hits Live. Um, But you get it live sampling the band along with a lot of their biggest hits as well as a few underrated gems thrown in there. So pretty good stuff. And um, I know this came out. Um, this came out after Unusual Heat, so it has songs from those albums, and I believe it's a compilation. Um, yeah, it's a compilation, so it's not from all from one concert, and uh, it was it was released under two different names. There was Best of Live and Classic Hits Live, so you can see I have a later reissue under the Classic Hits Live name rather than the original name Best of Live. But it was released in 1993. Um, and so, yeah, it's going to have a mixture from over the years from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And in 1994, they released their penultimate album, Mr. Moonlight. Penultimate is Latin for second to last. Huh? I'm doing something fancy there. But yeah, Mr. Moonlight was, you could probably consider it the last album of their classic era, since their next album wouldn't come out till 15 years later. But, um, they were pretty consistent putting out an album every few years or so, going from 77, 78, 79, 81, 84, 87, 91, and 94. So you can see they never took more than a few years off, never more than like 3 years between albums. Well, I guess technically there were 4 years between Inside Information and Unusual Heat. That was 4 years in between albums, but that was their longest break. So yeah, um, but um, Mr. Moonlight, again, they're struggling to find anything um, here. I kind of like Running the Risk and Hand on My Heart. Hole in My Soul is okay. So yeah, they're struggling to find Under the Gun. It's pretty good. They're struggling to find any hits on Mr. Moonlight here. But yeah, at least they put out another album, and again, this I think could be considered the final one of the classic era. Now, they did come out with another album 15 years later, one that I do not own. I think it's pretty hard to get your hands on a copy. They might be expensive because I haven't really checked into it that much, but um, it was a Walmart exclusive when it came out in 2009 called Can't Slow Down. I think there was also a special edition. There was like a 2 disc and a 3 disc special edition um, that just came with some additional disc. Like I think one of the discs was a greatest hits collection, and the other disc was a DVD that contained both music videos and live and concert performances. So Can't Slow Down. I suppose that goes into the category of unfortunate name for your final album because it's now been more than 15 years since their last album. So if they were to put one out this year, it would be 16 years. Um, but I doubt they're going to put one out this year before the end of the year. I think Foreigner is done putting out new albums. As far as releasing new official studio albums is concerned, they may still have special edition archival material to release. I think the first 5 Foreigner albums are pretty popular, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if they get special, you know, uh, 40th or 50th year anniversary releases of some of these albums, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. Particularly, again, for the first 5 albums. Um, if there's some special releases out there and maybe more to come. But I don't think that they'll be putting out a new album. But um, Foreigner, definitely one of my favorite bands. You know, uh, like I said, got this, good sized CD collection from their classic era. And, some people might consider their classic era only to be the first 4 or 5 albums when they had all their big hits. Um, but I think some of the later albums are worth checking out as well. Um, but yeah, so yeah, if you haven't checked out these 3 albums, you could still consider these albums from the late 70s and 90s album, or sorry, late 80s and 90s albums to still be somewhat in the vein of classic Foreigner. Of course, they did have some lineup changes over the years. They still tour, but with none of the members that played on the first album are still in the band. But I did go and see them live like 2 years ago, and that was a really fun concert. Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to show here is this Lou Gramm solo album. Now, I believe he's put out I think two official solo albums and one album under the name The Lou Gramm Band, um, that came out a little bit later in time. But this is, I only have the first solo album. I'd like to get the second one, because he did put out 2 solo albums in the 1980s. Um, and this one, I believe, came out in 1987, Lou Gramm solo album. And of course, Lou Gramm was a member of Foreigner, the original lead singer. And um, yeah, I just barely got this one, brand new to my collection. And you can see Ready or Not, Heartache, Midnight Blue. Got some good stuff here. Arrow Through the Heart. Well, I'm checking out this Lou Gramm solo album. This one's called Ready or Not. Like I said, and this was one of 2 solo albums that Lou Gramm released in the 80s. I believe he released 2 in the late 80s. So I'm checking out some Lou Gramm solo material. And so that's my Foreigner music collection. Showed you some CDs, some 8 tracks, and what is your favorite Foreigner song? Comment down below in the comment section. What's your favorite song or your favorite album? Do you, favorite live track? All right. Thanks everybody. Dragonfire out.